Meanwhile, Chicago protesters launching a weekly Resist Trump Tuesday demonstration. Our own Jeff Locke will be covering this later on today. But where are the protesters against violence in Chicago? And do these protesters have their priorities just a little bit mixed up? To Independent Women's Voice, Hadley Heath Manning. Hadley, of course, many people are asking the same question, these type of questions about the Women's March in D.C. over the weekend. What do you make of it all?
There's an important place for protest in our society, for asking members of our federal government to change policies in order to serve the people better. And I think emotions are running high right now, right after Inauguration Day, in response to this election. But there's also, we have to keep in mind that protest is just an expression that if we really want to see change in our society, a lot of that is on our shoulders as individuals to get involved and be active ourselves.
Yeah, and again, from what I understand, for instance, the Women's March was planned for a long time, and it morphed into a sort of an anti-Trump movement, if you will. But to what you just said, when do individuals and even organizations start to say, hey, we're going to work toward solutions rather than sort of the perpetual complaints that really never get us anywhere?
Right. Well, especially hosting this particular march the day after inauguration in Washington, D.C., where the flagship march was, sort of signals that the women participating expect Uncle Sam to solve these problems. But I think it's important for us as women and men and families to take a good look at how we spend our resources, how we spend our time. If you want to help women, get involved with a local women's shelter or do something to help a neighbor of yours who needs child care. There are things that we can do in the private sector through charities and through our communities that can really make people's lives better.
What do you make of the notion that, that these marches also sort of perpetuate the notion that women in America are victims?
That is a problematic message that I think women have been hearing for a long time in the United States, and sometimes people try to compare us to other countries that have, for example, government-guaranteed maternity leave policies or government-provided child care. And it's important for us to step back and look at the big picture. Women in the United States are healthier, wealthier, more free, more, better off than women just about any other time and place in history. And so we should celebrate how far we've come as women and recognize that the problems that persist really should have targeted solutions. Not every woman in our society is a victim, although there are women who continue to struggle with specific issues, and we can address those together, I hope, in a way that's not divisive.
You sound like you're not too keen on the Nanny State solution, and I would say, for me, I thought November 8th was really a referendum on 8 years of a socialism sort of type of approach, big government making all of the decisions, to the American public saying, we want to get back to our DNA, the idea that if you set the background right, I could pull myself up by the bootstraps.
That's right, and there's an important place for state governments. Again, I think people are looking to Uncle Sam, looking to the federal government for a solution to every problem. But there's an important place at the state level and in our communities, very individualized solutions, because when there's a federal approach, usually that means one size fits all. And we hear the other side from Republicans or fiscal conservatives who say, well, that's going to cost taxpayer dollars. That's an important argument against big government, but a more important argument in some ways is how one size fits all really restricts our choices and limits the variety of opportunities we might have to find diverse child care solutions or diverse solutions to the work-life balance that women want, when they want to take a maternity leave or something like that. So we have to pay attention to not just the dollars and cents arguments against big government, but also how it impacts our lives in the day-to-day.
Hadley Heath Manning, great stuff. Really appreciate your insights.